All right, y'all, I just want to share with y'all a few things I learned about Sean Grayson, the law enforcement officer who killed Sonya Massey. If you don't know about that case, please Google it. I'm sure you already know about it, so I'm not going to go into a lot of detail or anything. I do have previous videos on it if you want to check those out. But I want to share some things with y'all that I learned about Sean that are absolutely unbelievable, as well as a letter to the editor that his future grandmother-in-law, I'll explain that, a letter to the editor that she did. It's unreal. So just in a nutshell, Sean Grayson was the sheriff's deputy who shot Sonya Massey after she called authorities for help because she thought she had an intruder near or around her house. She was taking a pot of boiling water off the stove whenever they were there checking out the house and checking out everything for her, and she said something like, "I'll rebuke you in the name of Jesus." Well, that set Sean off, and he shot her, and it was absolutely uncalled for. She was ducking down. The pot wasn't even about to be thrown at him. He said he was scared of the hot water being thrown in his face. It's just nuts. But that's just a recap of what all went on. It's clear dude has some major issues. Listen, I just feel like after all of these things are coming out, he should have never been a sheriff's deputy in the first place. First of all, he was discharged from the Army for serious misconduct. He also has a pretty extensive history of driving under the influence. He also failed to obey a command while he worked for another sheriff's office in Illinois. But perhaps the most troubling out of all of this is that he was told by a former sheriff's office that he worked for that he needed to take high-stress decision-making classes. So why was he a sheriff's deputy to begin with? Make it make sense. So the Army discharged him for misconduct after he served as a private first class at Fort Riley in Kansas. They didn't say what the misconduct was though, but they said it was serious. But then he was on the Kincaid police force for only 3 months before he was let go because he refused to live within a 10-mile radius. And before working for law enforcement agencies, he pled guilty to 2 DUIs. One was in 2015, one was in 2016. Now, guys, don't give me this. Everybody's got a history. I get that. But just listen to the rest. Now, the most troubling issue is those high-stress decision-making classes he needed to take. Since 2020, so 4 years ago, he has worked at 6 different law enforcement agencies. Now, the decision-making, high-stress decision-making classes came from a file, like a personnel file from the Logan County Sheriff's Office. This recommendation came after Sean failed to slow down for his boss after the boss called off a vehicle pursuit. It was said he was driving about 110 miles per hour when he hit a deer. The chief deputy with that department said that Sean chased a truck through Lincoln at a very high rate of speed, reaching speeds of 63 miles per hour in a 30 mile per hour zone. And in his opinion, the chief deputy's opinion, Sean failed to show due caution while he was driving through stop intersections. It was said that the supervisor called off the pursuit and Sean turned off his emergency lights, but continued at a very high rate of speed of 110 miles per hour in a 55 mile per hour zone before he struck a deer. It was said he then admitted that he lacked experience, and that sheriff's office listed a series of recommendations for Sean, including additional traffic stop training, report writing training, and then those high-stress decision-making classes. Now, it's not really clear. I don't know if he followed through with those. I would say no after he did this, that he resigned with that sheriff's office in Logan County in April of last year. And the next month is when he joined Sangamon County, which is the county he worked for when he murdered Sonya. He has since been fired, thankfully. So as you can see, he definitely has a history and he's got some major issues. And perhaps that's why what I'm about to show you is one big crock of crap, in my opinion. So Sean was set to get married this coming fall, and his fiance's grandmother wrote this, so his soon-to-be grandmother-in-law. Let's just read some of it. First to the protesters. What are you protesting? Sean is in jail. Charges are fired. Trial date set. Punishment applied. Sean's not going anywhere, so please knock off wearing out your sweat glands. Are you kidding me, woman? So please take your signs and go home and just be humans, and not the amusement or disgust to the public. Point number 2. Does anyone care about Sean's family or what horrifying reality they're dealing with? What about his fiancée he was set to marry in October? She is an innocent young woman who's unfairly being prosecuted. Does anyone care about the destruction of her life? She's left to deal with an emotional death. Sean's future in-law families, a to-be father-in-law who is as close to Sean as a father can be, a future mother-in-law, sister-in-law, and brother-in-law who is Sean's friend, future grandparents who love Sean dearly and still do, shock, disbelief, and reality, but an undying support for Sean. Sean. The past cannot be relived, the future is unknown. We only have each day to pray without ceasing. The Sean everyone desires to hate and persecute is not the Sean we have all come to know and love. We will always support Sean. Don't judge unless you want to be judged, blah, blah, blah. Proud grandmother to Sean Grayson. You gotta be kidding me. Notice she not once says Sonya's name. She not once offers her heart, prayers, condolences nothing to Sonya's family. It was all about poor, pitiful us, and that's disgusting to me. Well, Grandma, let me just tell you this. We have no pity for your family. If anything, you should be thankful that your granddaughter dodged a bullet, in all reality, because she was about to marry a cold-blooded murderer. Your soon-to-be grandson has some deeply rooted issues, and it's obvious. He took them out on Sonya, and something isn't right. Be thankful, because in all reality, it could have been your granddaughter, or you for that matter, that he chose to kill, because it's obvious he was trigger happy. He wanted to kill someone. He just so happened to choose an innocent woman who called on him for help. Personally, this woman, Grandma, needs to wake up and get a grip. We will continue fighting for justice for Sonya, and if that includes protesting and sweating our glands and everything else you said, then so be it. Let me know what you think about this letter in the comments. It was absurd to me. Justice for Sonya, say your name.